Hello there, my name is Michael, and today we're going to be looking at Chapter 4 from my book C++ for Dummies, and that is Intro to C++. So today we will be looking at the overall structure of a program. Um, Not so much variables and data types, that is going to be in Chapter 4, so we'll talk about that in a different video. So on the right hand side of my screen, you can see that I have a C++ program pulled up. And we are going to write a program similar to this. So this is just kind of to get you an idea of what the C++ structure looks like just by looking at it right off the bat. So what we're going to do first is we are going to, in Sublime Text, you could also be using Notepad++ if you choose to do so. I am using Sublime Text just as preference, it's just what I use. So we would open up a file and then do a new file. I've already created one. I called it test2 with the extension .cpp. The extension .cpp, as some of you should know, is for C++. That's the file extensions that we would use. All right, so let's look at step 1 here. The first thing we want to do is, in any C++ program, is to first start our initial include. Now, I have decided to use include IOStream, and what that does is it allows us to use, or it brings in a library from C++ that is going to allow us to use some things that is going to be essential for us when writing our program. And to do this, we need the pound symbol in front of this. And what that is a preprocessor directive. Now, when the compiler goes to run this, the first thing it looks for is these preprocessor directives. And that's going to tell the compiler that, hey, I want to import this certain library from C++. So that'll be our first step. You always want to add this. This is very essential. Now on to step 2 here. We are going to be, oops, if I can type, using namespace std. This is going to be the second thing you're going to want to do when creating your first program. Now, the reason why we using namespace std is it allows us to use things such as cout and cin in our programs. If we look back at the original, you can see that there are cout, cins here. We will talk about those a little bit later in this video. So we're going to need those. We're going to need this because we need to use our couts and cins in most of our programs. So we'll do that. Next, we are going to make our first method. So in step 3, our first method is going to be int main. And what this is the main method of our program. This is what is going to be driving our program. It's going to contain all the things that we want the program to be doing inside of this method here. Now you can see at the front of this, we have this word int, and that is a data type. All it's saying is that this is what I'm going to be returning from this method. We're not going to worry about that right now, mainly because I will go over it in Chapter 5, which deals with variables and data types. So try not to worry about that too much in this. Just kind of understand that what things need to be here for this program to work, basically. So the structure, we're just trying to get the structure down. And then the next thing is main. This right here is our this is our method's name. So we could actually call this anything we wanted to. So we could say my program if we chose to do so. But for good programming practices, we keep it as int main because this is the main function. There will be other functions used inside it later on. So we want to keep it this way so that we know that this is our main function. And then you can see that we have brackets to enclose this, and that basically encloses everything inside that function. So that contains everything inside that function, keeps it all in there. All right, so we're done with step 3. Now let's go on to step 4. Step 4 is going to be creating the stuff inside our program. Now, this can depend on different things, such as what do we want our program to do? What does our client want our program to do? That's going to be very essential to us. So let's just start off by, first of all, let's say we want our program to take in our name and then output our name to our console. So let's start out by creating a variable that's going to contain our name. So we will put my name. Next, we will prompt ourselves in the console for what we want to what we want the program to get in. So let's do cout, which we can use from using namespace std, and then our two left arrows there. That is going to be connected with cout. You will always want those. And now let's prompt ourselves. Let's say the program wants to know what our name is. What is your name? And we want to enclose these in a parentheses because that's what we want to be outputting to the console. And then we'll do another set of left arrows and then endl. So that's going to format it for us. So now we'll do a cin, and this is going to be my name. Cin is console in. We want to tell the console what we're grabbing, or what we're grabbing from the console. That's what we're getting, is what we gave it. And now we want to do another prompt and say, let's say hello there. And then we want to give it our name, and L again for formatting concerns. And so that is step 4. Now finally, step 5 is going to be the last thing that we will need, and it is return 0. And what return 0 is it tells the function that, hey, I've ran without any errors. If it returns anything other than a 0, it's going to return with errors. So here's our program. Now what we want to do is control save, and we want to go back over to our Linux shell here, and we're going to make our way into our directory that we created, and we can see that test and test2 are there. So let's do a g++ on test2. That's cpp. It ran with no errors, so that's good. And then we want to do that. What is your name? Type in our name, and there it is. Simple as that. Yeah. So that's the structure of C++. Go check out my book, C++ for Dummies, and we will see you in the next tutorial.